Hello everyone. As you know, you can always like my videos if you enjoy them and also subscribe in one of the cards that is somewhere if you enjoy Subletly Rogue content or Rogue content in general. And now let's begin with this video. This video will be about the build that I have done for single target. It's the highest saving build right now. It may change everything. I just have the date always in the description. You can also check guides that are going to be posted in the following days from people that do written guides. Those are actually usually better than video guides, but if you just want to know what happens when you use the abilities and want me to explain all I know, everything that is happening and why it happens, just sit up and let's do this. So I did a clip, so I'm going to explain that clip, of course, but first I'm going to do a fast rundown on the important things that we have on this talent build. So, as you know, we're going to play Invigorating Shadow Dust. This is kind of the most important thing in this build, and of course, it makes it our cooldowns are 30 seconds less. Thank you for a comment. When you use Vanish, of course, we have two charges of Vanish, and we get our talent tree, so we get some good cooldown usage with Sweet Death and Flagellation, and of course, Shadowcraft has some power here. Of course, I also explained it in the video about everything you need to know, but with the old tier set, we just take this point of finality and put Rotten, and then we don't change much apart from that. So that 1 week or something that you will do struggle, you can just play with that. Also, this build in the class tree, the middle is really mobile. You can move a lot of points. Use the only points that are kind of for DPS are subterfuge and in some manner the sprint talents, because of course getting to your target faster, it's good. Also, please don't take shadow step off. Now, acrobatic strikes, really good talent to keep uptime and have more range. This build seems a little bit more than the T1, but if you really struggle with energy or some things like that, you can just take these talents off and play with T. You will just use T when you want to do at the beginning. You will use T in the first dance and then on the second dance. Like, it will be really easy to know when you need to use T. And then afterwards when you don't have much energy to do a build there. But this build, of course, is the one that seems more, and that's why we are going to use it in this clip that I'm going to show you. Disclaimer, I'm not a perfect player. I'm going to make mistakes. Likely, I'm also going to say when I make those mistakes. So let's go into the video. Now, of course, here, this is a clip that I pre-recorded because, as you know, there are some things that change with our build, namely Shadowcraft, that can mess up some things, and also I kind of forget that we are using Secret Technique with Cold Blood. I was using a different build, so that. Also, our trinket, it's a little bit spicy. The branch, I already did a video about the branch. I'm also going to do one afterwards. It's not hard at all to use. After you get used to it, just don't use it just next to a wall, because you will just get the three balls together and kind of mess up everything. So let's begin. Always we begin with 0 combo points, 0 things on our talents. That is the tier set, of course. You can proc a shadow part of your tier set that does some damage, etc, etc. I already explained it, kind of. Now, of course, mic check. Now, here I show the talents. I'm also going to upload the clip itself. We get the lock going. I'm also going to show the lock afterwards. And then we Shadow Strike, Flagellation. That will be our subterfuge window. There is a possibility that Shadow Strike Shadow Strike becomes a thing, but it's still like 0 point something neutral. We will need to change some other things. Nothing important now. When you use Flagellation and you have full combo points, what do you use? You use a finisher. We're going to use Rupture, and this Rupture is going to make, so we have two things that are going to make us use Rupture in dance, and those are Finality. finality, as you know, increases the damage of our next rupture that we do, and also our tierset. Our tierset has 0% chance to proc on the first rupture in an encounter, and of course the second rupture has 33%, then 66, then 100. So of course we are going to go now. We are going to use our cooldowns. Here you see me using Symbols of Death, Shadow Blades, the Wither Branch, and now we are going to use Shadow Dance and Backstab. You see here now I did kind of a hip thrust and we got a backstab. Why are we using backstab? Because of course you know there's a really strong talent called Dance Macabre that increases the damage of everything we do while we are in Shadow Dance. Now also another important part is we are going to use, of course, that rupture, and then you see me going for the second ball. Why do we get the second ball that early? The thing with the trinket, kind of the best use that we have right now, is get one ball immediately, one ball 2 seconds, and then the other one 7, 8, or something like that. Just as long as you get it before you use the second secret technique, it's okay. Now here I get the ball, and I also use secret technique. When we use that, we have to kind of run around the mob on the boss. It's not hard at all. As you can see here, I just do 2 runs. And meanwhile, of course, we are using Shadow Strikes and Eviscerates. You will see that I end my dance now here with full combo points to use another finisher. Thanks to Shadowcraft, you saw me using 2 finishers, or maybe even 3 sometimes if you're lucky, in a row, depending also if you have Wind Fury Totem and Bloodlust, that can change things. It gets really funny when you can use. One time I used 4 finishers in a row. It was amazing. Now here, of course, as you know, we're doing this, and then I get the last one for that last Eviscerate, and then we are going to Banish. This is important. Here, you should really use Symbols of Death just as you Banish, but me being a boomer, I'm kind of slow on that. And I take a little bit more. Then you, of course, you Banish, Shadow Strike, Eviscerate, Shadow Strike, and then Eviscerate again. Now here you see, now we are going to use, as you saw me again, Shadow Dance and that Backstab. And here you saw that I actually made that mistake that I talked about, that I took the last ball too early. So now I don't have it ready for my secret technique. It happens, it is what it is. With practice, everyone will get it. And now, here, we get that. And we use our secret technique again with Cold Blood. Now, everything comes to a lull, kind of, as you have finished your super burst thing. As you can see, we are doing decent damage. We can get upwards to almost a 1 million peak if we have good things and something like that. It's kind of cool. And now, of course, you see me here just doing nothing. There are 2 reasons. One of those is I'm going to use that Rupturing Dance, and also I want to get the Symbols of Death with Dance. So you will see me here, and then we get that dance. Now, here it will things get interesting. There are things that you can do. You will see me here just get into full energy, but you can of course finish, because I want to use the flagellation. I want to use flagellation, and of course the ideal thing was getting more builders and finishers to get our secret technique of cooldown a little bit more. But now we want to use our Shadow Blades, but it's on cooldown. So what do? We're going to Banish. And this is kind of when it gets dicey. You see me doing a lot of things. Those are not 100% like good things that you can do. Here, for example, I'm using a secret technique outside of dance when I could have just waited 3 seconds and used it in the other dance and things like that. It was just to end the clip. So ignore everything that I did afterwards, the 1 minute part or something. And that is most of what you do with the single target build. As you know, people will make written guides about this, and I will also make a more in-depth how to use dust across a whole fight with more times and things. So now we're going to check the lock that we did from here, the last thing we will do kind of. And let's come over here, and this is the lock. As you know, it's always crangled because of the way Akaris works. You know, here Akaris stole a lot of our damage. So now we are going to see, and here you can see the damage, the big peak that we did. If we had raid buff, we will have done more. Of course, remember, this is not the real true peak. If we did 6, 7 or something minute fight, it will be like 400k or 6 or 500k. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to show you the casts again. The timelines. And here, of course, you know that I'm making mistakes, and it's nothing, no problem. Remember, of course, to get the macro for the Cold Blood and Secret Technique with Cold Blood before Secret Technique, so you can get that power. Now here, it's kind of the opener. There's a Shadow Strike here at 0 that you can see, but you have the 2 Shadow Strikes, Flagellation, Rupture, and then we use our cooldowns, and Dance, Stab, Rupture, Strike, and we do everything like I told you. Remember, I actually use this too late. Just as you banish, you can use it, so you have full uptime inside of dance. Also remember to get the branch buff just when you banish if you can. You have 2 or 3 seconds left on the buff, and then you will do this. You will just banish, then strike, eviscerate, strike, of course, and you get here if you have symbols of death, you get the points to do another eviscerate later. Now here, of course, after this eviscerate, because I used it too early, we're going to Shadow Dance Stab. Remember, this stab thing is only when we are inside blades, like as a manner of things that you want to know. And here we use our things. Now here you will want to use more finishers to get the secret technique of earlier, but with this build we are really start on energy, so it's really unlikely unless you are with bloodlust that you can do that. And then here we want to use our things. This is the normal dance, of course, remember. And then here is when we want to use flagellation, and then ideally, of course, you want to get this here and then get the shadow blades before the clones hit. For some reason I used a kick here, I'm that good, and you will get the damage when they fix it, because right now it doesn't get the extra damage on your secret technique. Of course, then you will use the shadow strike, etc. And then here we will use a dance with rupture because of the power that I talked before. And then this will be like the dance that we will use. Now, one thing that you may want to know here is that shellets themselves would go the other way. So here in this middle thing, you may want to use, so you don't make the same mistake that I did here. At least one or two backstab finishers, but it's not sure. We still don't know. We are still mixing everything, but it's just so you have the general knowledge that you can do that. And then this way, this secret technique is inside this dance. But of course, the way this works, our shadow blades last 20 seconds. We will get three. Well, two only. So we will get this inside, and then we will get this afterwards. You can just put it, remember, here. The cold blood will go anywhere here. And then we have another dance that we will use that doesn't have anything kind of. So this dance, you can just put it later with these symbols of death. So those are kind of the mistakes and other things that I made, but it's just so you have a general idea of things and just so you know how to kickstart things. So that will be all, and I will see you in the next video.